Hi guys, in this video we're just going to have a look at the parallel line angle rules. You should have learnt them last year, so it should be a quick revision lesson. There are 3 rules to know and you need to be able to use them, and basically with angle geometry the important thing is making sure that you give your reasons for your answers, just like we talked about in class. So we're just going to get straight into it. It's always a good idea to use a ruler and using lines in your book to make sure that your lines you're given are parallel. And basically we join the 2 lines with a 3rd line called a transversal, just in case you want to know what it's called. And basically there are some relationships that we need to know. Important to remember, there are also the other rules that we've already learnt. So you can see we've got a straight line here, so we've got angles on a straight line. We've got vertically opposite angles if we wanted to, and we've also got a point here in the middle, so those 4 angles make up angles around a point. But on top of that, there are 3 specific parallel line rules, and we're going to go through them one at a time. So the first one I'm going to introduce is when we have 2 angles inside the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. They're called alternate angles. And the relationship between those 2 angles is they have exactly the same value. Okay, so if we just do a quick example of some numbers, I will demonstrate how we work it out. Not much working to do because they are the same, and importantly how we present our answer and show our reasoning, because that has to be really consistent throughout this topic. Okay, so if we have something like this and we're told that this angle here is 60 degrees and this angle here is unknown, we identify the relationship that inside the parallel lines, opposite sides of transversal, the alternate angles. So we would say that the angle X is 60 degrees, and the reason is because alternate angles on parallel lines are equal, and we can use a bit of an abbreviation, which is always nice. Okay, so you can see we've got alt for alternate, little angle symbol for angles. That means parallel lines are equal. So alternate angles on parallel lines are equal. And that is your first of the 3 parallel line rules that we need to know. So we'll draw up another set and we'll look at rule number 2. So if we have 2 angles again inside the parallel lines, but this time on the same side of the transversal, we call these co-interior angles. And the relationship between these 2 angles is that they will always add to 180 degrees. So this one you will have to do a small calculation, and again you have to set it out and explain your reasoning, and we've got another little bit of shorthand we can use to make it a bit easier. So if we make that one 50 degrees, that one we'll make it as Y. This time we look at the relationship that inside the parallel lines, same side of the transversal, the co-interior angles, so they must add to 180 degrees. So we can work that out pretty quickly. Y is 130 degrees, and our reason for that, co-interior angles and parallel lines add to 180 degrees. So that's the first 2 rules, both applying to angles inside the parallel lines. Our 3rd rule uses an angle outside the parallel lines. So let's just have a look at it. So we could have that one and that one. Now basically what we've got here is the exact same angle on a different parallel line. Okay, so it's like almost like a copy and paste of this up to here. And these ones are corresponding. Now if we've got the exact same angle, then obviously it's going to be exactly the same size. So corresponding angles are equal. Now I'm just going to demonstrate using different colours that there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles on any given parallel lines. And one more here. Okay, so any one of those pairs matching up the colours represent the exact same angle. So a relationship with the corresponding angles on parallel lines are equal. We'll just do one example of numbers. That should be all you need, because as I said, this is revision of last year's material. Okay, so I'll call that angle 55 degrees, that angle Z. The first thing to do is recognise that they're corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are the same. So our rule using the shorthand, corresponding angles on parallel lines are equal. Now what's really important is, boys, I don't want you making up your own shorthand. You either use it the way I've demonstrated, or you write it out in full. Those are your 2 options, nothing in between. So to go with this, there is a MyMaths activity which goes through parallel line rules, so have a go at that, and then in class tomorrow you'll be doing some work continuing on with this idea.